Hello and welcome to another stream. Before I do introductions, be forewarned, I will probably be getting up at some point during the stream because I would have gotten tea and water before I started, but then I got a cat on me and I'm not going anywhere. So whenever she deigns that she's done being in my lap, I will go up and get water and tea. But right now, I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I know, baby. I gotta get back to the desk. Okay. All right. Good. I'm glad to see everybody here. And yay, Ben, you arrived. I wondered where the heck you were. Oh. And now Bree has deigned that she is done being in my lap. So this means that I can finally get my water. So I will be right back. By the way, hi, Jessica. I saw you too. Ooh, call it up red. Oh, that's good.
Sausage and pepper sandwich.
Oh. Okay, at the very least, I got water. The kettle is still going. Alrighty. I am back from fetching tea. Okay. Now that I got that prep work done and out of the way, proper introductions for folks who are new to the stream. Tea fetching is indeed a worthy task. Thank you very much. Anyway, proper introductions now that everything's pretty much settled. So, hi, I'm Kelsey. I make comics. You can find a lot of the stuff that I do through the links in the doobly-doo or at linktree/KelseyD. It's the best way to find everything that I do. I make the webcomic The Legend of Jamie Roberts, which is about a genderqueer pirate and their two best friends treasure hunting in a land full of dragons and magic. I have a lot of fun making it. At some point today, during this stream, I may work on a page, but right now, I'm going to make some character art for a side project that I'm doing. A couple of streams back, which you can watch previous live streams. They're all archived on my YouTube channel. Link down in the doobly-doo as well. One sec. Excuse me. But in a previous live stream, I had mentioned a project called the NPC Compendium. And what I wanted to do with that not live stream, the NPC Compendium, was make this compendium of non-player characters for game masters and dungeon masters to refer to whenever they need to like flesh out a town or an encounter or something. But they're like, oh God, I don't have all this energy to create NPCs. They can just flip through the NPC Compendium and interact with those NPCs. So it's a resource for game masters and dungeon masters. It would also be a handy resource for writers and other creatives if they need some character design inspiration. So there we go. Hi, Carlos. Good to see you in the comments. So because I will be doing character designs throughout this stream today, I will be taking audience requests, which is an unusual move. I don't usually do requests, but today I will draw your requests. So if you have something that you would like me to draw, I will draw it. Just shout it out in the comments. All right. To start, I brought up this sketchbook page template because I am not just lazy, but I'm also like the type of person that would rather have like basic stuff set up ahead of time. So I actually have a file for just template stuff, and that has preset images and preset files that have like the dots per inch already figured out and the dimensions already figured out. And I have a sketchbook page template, and that's what's up on the screen right now. And I do all of that because I don't have a whole lot of free time on my hands and I'm lazy. Also, I'm just so tired. I did a bunch of door dashing yesterday, and oh my God, I'm just so tired. So, character art. Oh, you know what? I had actually started a character. I'm not sure if I would work on him in this live stream, though. He's a little... You know what? I'll bring him up. Because why not? I had started working on this guy earlier. But he needs inked in, so I'm going to ink him in. But if you have a request, feel free to shout it out in the comments.
Your kettle's hot.
Yay! Okay, the kettle's going off, so I will be right back. Boop. I'm going to go properly fetch tea this time. Be right back, y'all.
Thank you.
Well, you probably need that light on still. Okay. By the way, today's t-shirt, or tank top rather, is "Dead Men Can't Catcall." I actually traded a print for this from there was a dude across from me at a convention. His name was Cash. He was this like big bulky dude who looked like he could bench me. He had this shirt and I'm like, oh heck yeah, I will trade you a print for this. And he was like, done. Homeless Raven Man. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's start with that one. My roommate overheard me and she just went, Vex? For folks who know Critical Role. Let's switch out the banners really quick. In honor of your shirt, you should draw a catcalling vampire. You'll be next after the homeless Raven Man. We'll do the homeless Raven Man first. I'm going to do a thing, though. Let me see if I have some reference images of ravens. I feel like I have ravens on standby. Where is it? I have a reference folder. I have a folder just full of reference art. There it is. Okay. Okay. So there's some Raven references, which I kind of need. I'm going to zoom in on the head because I need the head at the moment. And if you're wondering, why is it that all of these reference images that you have them splaying out their wings? It's because I needed their wing references for another project. Boop. Okay. We're gonna set you aside for a second so we can draw this homeless Raven Man. Okay, here we go. Just to get the general body language, we're going to have him like kind of hunched over, sitting down. Given the structure of the leg, I'm going to situate the knee a little lower for this particular side. I'm going to take a look at their feetsies for a second. Okay. Crows have unusual feetsies. Or ravens, rather. I have heard that the major difference between a crow and a raven is that if there are a whole bunch of them and they're making a lot of noise, those are crows. If there's only one or two of them and you do a double take thinking, wait, was that a cat? That's a raven. Before we go on, I'm going to save the progress I'm making so far. Okay, there we go. Very important to save your work, y'all. I'll catch up on comments here in a second. I'm drawing the little spheres here for reference for the knuckles. Here we go. Okay. Okay, so I got the general body down. We're going to do the costume in different pencil color so that it stands out a little bit more. There we go. We're going to make the costume green. And this is just the general shape. We'll make it a little more thinned out and possibly threadbare here in a minute. We're going to have this homeless raven be asleep. Not necessarily sad, just like hunkered down somewhere to try to like get some shut eye. to that end, we're going to enlarge this a bit. Oop, there we go. I'm going to clarify the leg a little bit more around here too. There we go. Okay. All right, let's catch up on some comments real quick. Yeah, I just worked as a talent handler at a con. It's so nice to see them back. Talking about somebody in the comments. I know that I've been I know I've been reaching out to people about conventions. A wing, for instance. Oh yeah, when I was talking about wing reference earlier. But anyway, back to cons. I actually reached out to the organizers of Genghis Con. Yes, that is the name of an actual convention. And Genghis Con, the organizers are planning on doing a series of pop-up events. And I reached out to them because they have a pop-up event happening June 19th, which is 2 weeks from now. And I was like, do you have any more room for one more artist? And they were like, we do have room for one more artist. Stay tuned. We'll send you some details. So still waiting on some of those details, but tentatively I have an appearance in 2 weeks. Possibly. I was hoping to reach out to Bob Corby, the organizer who coordinates Space down in Columbus. But apparently Space, the virtual convention, is happening next weekend, so I think I missed my window. Oops. This is what I get for procrastinating. All right, let's see. Let me look at the head reference again. Okay. That's a little too blurry. There we go. Okay. Wait. That I want to do in a different color. Let's make that one purple. Okay. Now, the addendum about the characters for this character compendium. I am not doing full color for these. These are just going to be like black and white line art things. Because there's a lot of characters that are going to be going into this character compendium. I don't have an exact number figured out yet. Like, this is just a personal project, so like whatever feels right to me is what I go with. Got a little bit of whiskers on the little chinny part of the beak there, I noticed. Okay. Just going to take a look at the... Okay, I don't really have a good reference for like raven legs, except around here, but that's like way too dark. but it is smoother than I expected. So let's just... Actually, you know what? I think I'll redraw the pants. I was going to have them in kind of beat up shorts, but seeing that silhouette of the raven leg here in this shot makes me go, those look like baggy pants. So I'm going to have them in baggy pants instead. There we go. That works. Does need a back claw though, so let's get back that body color pencil that I was working with. Ooh, better idea. Mm-hmm. I'll redraw that other leg here in a sec. These are some of the messiest pencils I've worked with for a while, but that's okay. We're not looking for perfection with these pencils. We're just looking for a general idea. Off that back foot, I'm actually going to trace around here. Shrink it down a wee bit. Okay. And we're going to move this up. About here-ish, maybe? Hold on. I need to rotate the canvas, see what the heck's going on. Okay. I'm going to rotate that a little bit then. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'll work for now. So we're going to make a new layer. We're going to call it inks and set this to 50%. There. Before I go on, I'm going to catch up on comments. Reach out to Bob anyway. You never know. I can also send you the deets on space if you want them. Oh, I appreciate that, Ben. I might still reach out. I made it to your stream for once. Yay! We're happy to have you here. Do you have a rhyme or reason for the lining colors that you use? It just helps my dumb brain separate like what parts are what. It especially became useful when I was dealing with more and more complicated scenes with The Legend of Jamie Roberts, particularly with crowds. I was like, oh, there is no way that I can draw all of this with just one color and have it make any kind of legible sense to future me. It also came to a point where I was doing more and more commissioned work, and I was penciling up stuff. And before I sent the pencils off to the person who commissioned me, I was like, hold on. How are they going to make sense of some of this line art? So I started using different colors to differentiate like what parts were what, just to make it a little bit more legible to the person who commissioned me. It works. So, okay. Now we're going to ink this in. I think I'm going to do something a little bit different. Let me test it though. Let me see what this looks like. Okay. That's not the texture I wanted. What about this one? It's closer. Okay. I'm going to play around with this for a little bit. Thickness, brush densities where I want it. Stabilization, though. Okay, that's closer. Oh, the anti-aliasing is eh. For folks who are wondering, what the heck is anti-aliasing? It's not super obvious on this particular brush, so I won't use this brush as a demonstration of what anti-aliasing looks like. Instead, I will bring up the pen tool to show this off. So anti-aliasing is how sharp are the lines of a particular tool. And you can change that with this anti-aliasing in the brush settings on the left-hand side of Clip Studio Paint. Anti-aliasing is this row down here with the different spheres, and the different spheres have different edges to them. So anti-aliasing none makes the brush look like this. If you zoom in, you can see how kind of rigid it looks. But if you have it at weak, it makes it look like this. At medium, it looks like this. And at strong, it looks like this. So none, weak, medium, strong, from left to right. Excuse me. And this became relevant when I was working at Neverending, because if you want to take your line art and you want to vectorize it, you're going to want something a little bit more like all the way to the left, because that is easier to convert into numbers. Whereas something soft, like all the way on the right there, like that's good for rasterized work, like painting and drawing in Clip Studio Paint. But it also affects how it looks whenever you, like, say, fill in an area with color with the paint bucket tool. So it has effects with that as well. All right. And that was my tutorial about anti-aliasing. So anyway, back to figuring out, because I have a texture in mind for the line art of this character. Okay, that's closer. What does it look like when it's a 20 size? Okay. That's close to what I want. Okay. This is the one that I want. This like textured pen is what I want. Like I want it rough looking. Okay. we're just going to shift that over here. I'm not quite done with the references yet, but I want to ink stuff in without the references like hogging up half of my screen. So. Whoop. Let's try that again. There we go. Okay. Ooh, real quick. Okay, they do have that little dippy part in the beak. I wanted to be sure. This is why having references are handy. We're going to move that back over here. I did notice that ravens have like almost like a little eye ridge around their eyes. Almost looks like eyebrows. So I wanted to add that in there. There we go. Okay. Add a couple of stitches in there. A little bit of a hole. There we go. Yeah, we want this particular poncho that the homeless raven man is wearing to be a little more threadbare. Like he's been wearing this thing for a while. Okay, so while my brain is thinking about homelessness, in years previously, back when I lived in the like Wheeling, West Virginia area, I would volunteer as much as I could with youth services systems. And I would participate in an event that they would run called Wheeling Sleep Out. And the reason that I would do that is because youth services system addresses homelessness, particularly among young people. Because West Virginia actually has a really bad rate of homelessness among young people. And not just because of, LGBTQ issues, although like 40% of all homeless youth are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or otherwise queer. And I use queer in the reclaimed sense. And that was one of the reasons that I got involved with Wheeling Sleep Out and by extension youth services systems, because I was like, oh, that cannot stand. Like, I don't want LGBTQ youth to be homeless. I don't think anybody does. The other reason why youth services systems focused on homelessness among young people is because natural disasters happened a lot in that neck of the woods, particularly floods. And floods destroy houses. And that's one of the big reasons why homelessness is actually a really big problem in that neck of the woods, because people's homes would just get flooded. Which, yes, by the way, getting your home ruined by floods does count as a form of homelessness. So does having your house destroyed by fire, which is what happened to me when I was a kid, which is another reason I'm involved with homelessness among youth causes, because I've been there. It sucks. So, like, all of that said, I'm looking into causes up here in the Toledo area that do things for homelessness. There is a program for homeless vets to, like, basically stand on the side of the street and sell you newspapers. So I noticed that when I was doing DoorDash yesterday. I encountered a man in the vest and everything. They wear vests to signal, hey, I'm a street vendor. And I bought a newspaper off of them. I know they have this program down in Columbus too. I feel like this is something that, like, a lot of major metro areas have as a program going on. It's a way to help homeless people, like, get the income that they need to gather up the resources to get back up on their feet. Something I don't think a lot of people appreciate is, like, because I'm thinking about, like, moments where somebody would, like, yell at somebody who's, like, panhandling, and a person yells at them to get a job. The problem is you need a street address, like a home address, to get a lot of jobs. You also need a mode of transportation. And in order to get a title on a car, you kind of need a home address. So there's just a lot of things that are stacked against the homeless. And that's something that I don't think a lot of people understand or appreciate about the homelessness problem. Not even getting into the causes of homelessness right now. Anyway, let's get to the comments section really quick. What canvas settings are you using? Sorry if I missed that, tuned in a bit late. I mentioned in the earlier part of the stream that I work off of a template for sketchbook pages. The preset that I have saved as sketchbook page template it's 5.5 inches wide, 8.5 inches tall, and 300 dots per inch. That's my sketchbook page template. And I have the canvas set to gray because before I got the screen saving glasses, I put these on at night. But before I got the screen saving glasses, I realized, oh man, I'm staring at white canvases all day. Maybe I should tint them to gray, and that would help with my eyes. And lo and behold, it reduced the number of headaches that I got in a given week. So there's something for that. Yep, and you have to look presentable, and that can be hard when you're homeless. Exactly, because if you don't have a home, it's kind of hard to get access to, like, a shower or a sink, even. It's one of the reasons why homeless people tend to congregate around public libraries so much, because at least public libraries have public bathrooms. So, yeah. It can be really hard. Also, trying to look presentable in order to get a job is one of the big reasons why a lot of homeless shelters ask for not just clean clothes, but, like, razors and soap and shampoo, is because they're really trying to, like, get these people to look presentable so that they can get work. Because there's the bias. I'm stirring in the honey for my tea. But yeah, everything that I'm talking about right now regarding homelessness is talking about, like, it's not necessarily addressing the cause of homelessness, but it's addressing the symptoms. The causes for homelessness can vary, honestly. But I do feel like there needs to be more done to address the causes of homelessness rather than just the symptoms of homelessness. Today's tea selection is just decaf Earl Grey. I find that that pairs well with honey and also does the best to maintain a good throat. That way I can keep talking. Dark mode is an eye saver. I convert a lot of things that I do to dark mode, whether that's like a social media platform or anything else that has a dark mode. Pretty much anything I work with I've converted to dark mode. Hotel travel size toiletries are great for donations because they're easier to dole out and carry. Yes, they are. That was another reason I volunteered a lot with the YWCA in the Wheeling, West Virginia area. Turns out it's not just the YWCA in Wheeling, West Virginia that does their best to address homelessness. I feel like it's something that YWCAs nationwide try to address. They're not just like shelters for women who are trying to like escape being battered and abused. It also serves as like a place for women to try to get themselves back up on their feet. And that's why the YWCA asks for like travel size toiletry donations, clean socks, clean underpants. Good Lord. If you can find clean underpants, donate them to homeless shelters. They need that. But also, if you can donate money, especially at food banks can make those dollars stretch way more than you think that they can. Like Adam Ruins Everything actually did an episode about this, about like the best things that you can donate to like food pantries, and the best thing that you can give to a food pantry is money. They have access to deals that the average consumer does not have access to. The same is somewhat true of homeless shelters and YWCAs because they do get grants, and grants do help cover the cost of some things, but not always. And also as a nonprofit, like there is like ways to handle taxes and getting taxed for things. But that's an entirely separate beast, and I'm not going to get too much into that. But they do rely on donations more often than not, and your donations do go a long way. Okay, so that's one leg done. Almost. I'm going to double check the leg. Not that one. This one. Beep. Okay. Just going to have that hanging out on this side of the canvas over here. Okay. Yeah, this is why I have reference images so that I know, like, roughly what it looks like. The back talon is way more curved than I anticipated, so let's just increase the curvature of that. Of course, it would probably adapt differently with a crow man being bipedal, but we're just going to go with that for the time being. There we go. I probably could talk about nonprofit funding at some point, because when I was in school, I studied for my minor, for my degree, I studied arts management. And arts management has had 3 different tracks when I was studying for it. Track 1 was running a nonprofit. Track 2 was running an art gallery. Track 3 was entrepreneurship. Guess which one? It's entrepreneurship. I took entrepreneurship. But I did take some basic classes in how to run a nonprofit, and I did some case studies of some nonprofits, especially San Diego Comic-Con. So, like, I know some things. I don't know everything, but I know some things. I know the basics. Add some feathers in the back matter over here. Here we go. Get a big old hole over this on this side. Oh, I just thought of something depressing for this character. If you're gonna make this particular character a Kenku, Kenkus are a race in Dungeons and Dragons. But if you're going to make this particular character a Kenku, Kenku can only repeat what it is that they've heard other people say. And if you're going to make this particular, like, homeless raven man a Kenku, he's just going to be screaming obscenities because that's all he's ever heard in his direction. And that's kind of sad. Whoop. Okay. Let's see here. Yep. There we go. Pro tip, start getting really confident with how you draw lines. Because, like, doing stuff like this looks awful. Don't do it. Start to get really bold with how you lay down your lines. Just like, swoop. Of course, it helps that I did caricatures for like 3 years at an amusement park setting. So you had to get really bold with your lines in order to draw fast. There we go. There are times where I consider going back into it because drawing caricatures actually made a decent amount of money. But then I have to remind myself, don't just do it for the money. Because there were some things about, drawing caricatures that I was not a big fan of, particularly in an amusement park setting, and I don't miss it. Drawing the scaliness of the foot because the foots are pretty scaly. The foots, the feetsies. The proper term is the feetsies. Let's try that again. Rotate the canvas to get the line effects I want. Yeah, there we go. That helped. Let's catch up on comments real quick. Oh, kind of ironic that he'd be yelling at others to get a job, you bum. It would be kind of ironic, yeah. So he would make a great manager. I mean, you said it. There is a name for a particular law where people get promoted to their highest level of incompetency. I do not remember the name of this particular law, but I do feel like the older I get, the more I realize it's true, particularly in service industries. Part of the reason for that, as somebody pointed out on, I think it was Tumblr, but I feel like this was a quote from a book that was a study on this, but somebody else had pointed out, part of the reason that they get promoted to such high levels is because those people got really good at a particular job, but the industry or the market that they are working in at that moment, or like in general, is like, oh, in order to reward this person for such great work, you give them a promotion, so you pay them more, even though the correct thing to do would be to keep them at that job and pay them more. But if you do that, you disincentivize people who want to get into that particular field. So you promote them to a position that they are not qualified for to get them the raise that they deserve, even though they hate that job. And that's, it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. There we go. I realized that I had the proportions a little bit wrong with this particular back foot, so I had to go back in and do it again. Okay. Yeah, that works. Cool. Alrighty. Mm-hmm. I'm actually hearing some pings on Discord, so I'm just going to check and make sure that it's not anything too urgent. Okay. Just making sure that nothing was urgent. The Dilbert principle. I mean, Dilbert did bring it up. I feel like there is a proper name for this. It's like, it's not Murphy's Law, but it's something close. But it could be the Dilbert principle. But yeah, Dilbert. I have no doubt that Dilbert brought it up at some point. I'm just going to make sure that the feetsies are looking similar enough, because I just want to make sure that everything's, consistent. Yeah, I'm veering off of the original pencils. Because again, trying to go for consistency here. There we go. Here we go. Okay. Beep. Make sure I got everything. There we go. Okay, I'm going to add a little more patch to this poncho. Like I said, though, I'm going to be keeping this just to black and white and nothing too complicated. Because the goal here is to draw a bunch of characters for this NPC compendium. Can't necessarily draw a whole bunch of them if they're all in color, because color takes a while. Okay. Clean that up a little bit. Do some spots. Ooh. Ding, ding, ding. Okay. Yeah. Just filling in and catching spots wherever I can. Boop. We'll color that in too, just in case. Okay. Okay, so we got those inks done. Save our progress. It's been a hot minute since I saved my progress. I'm actually going to bring up another character that I've done for this NPC compendium already. Mostly because I need to reference how it is that I shaded this particular piece. And okay. This character. And the reason I did these textures is I wanted to get them as close as I could to some of the characters I've already hand drawn in a sketchbook. So, okay. I know which brush I used to like shade this thing. So, let's get that brush up. Pretty sure it's this one. Get a tone layer going. Yeah, it's this brush. Okay. I made this custom brush because I don't like the hatch stuff that comes in Clip Studio Paint already. I wanted something that was more like this effect. Whereas the other cross-hatching lines that Clip Studio Paint provides look like, oh no. That's actually, I feel like I got this from someplace else. But this is really close to what I want. That is not. Like, I don't like this kind of cross-hatching effect. And this is the stuff that comes standard with Clip Studio Paint. Boop. Okay. Anyway, hatch line. Make this a little easier on myself, I'm just going to use the wand tool and I'm going to select the areas that I want to use the texture brush on, which is these. I want to make sure that this is all selected too. So let's just hit M for marquee and we're going to click on selection pen and hit shift so that it adds onto what's already selected. There we go. That is much better. Make sure that everything that I want highlighted is highlighted, and it looks like that it is. It looks like it's cut a little bit of the beak as well. We'll erase that as necessary. So, but all of the parts that I want highlighted are now highlighted. It makes shading and everything so much easier when you do it like this. Okay. Whew. Debating if I want to add any more. I've been freelance gig hunting and I'm curious, have you ever found a job post that doesn't match anything in your portfolio so you create a quick sketch just for that? I've been doing it a lot. So, funny story. Because I maintain my blog as well as I do, and because I post fairly regularly on social media and stuff like that, people usually come to me. I've not had to look on places like Guru or Upwork or any place else that folks post asking for freelancers. Like, I haven't had to go to any of those job boards for a while. That said, there were a couple of gigs that I found because of Paper Cat Press. Because Paper Cat Press, they did have an email newsletter. I don't know if they still do, but they do have a Twitter presence, and they do update once a week with new calls for artists. And not just like visual artists. They also have a section for voice actors to submit their stuff, which, yay! They also have a section for writers. So Paper Cat Press, really good resource. That's how I got a gig with American Greetings doing greeting card writing stuff, is Paper Cat Press. So highly recommend Paper Cat Press. Raven Man is really neat. Thank you. I really need to get more practice in with those texture brushes. Yes, you do. They've made my life so much easier. Oh my gosh. Okay. Looking at this, I think I'm just going to use a solid black, or at least a solid gray, to color in those pants. Or no, not a solid color, because I didn't use solid colors with that figure that I had just showed. But I do feel like there's a little too much blankness going on with this figure. Let me see if I can find a texture brush that can replicate feathers. And if not, we might just make it. Might just make a feather brush. I do feel like there is a feather brush floating around here somewhere. Gauze cloud. You know what, though? That's giving me what I'm looking for the pants. So let's just do that. There we go. Dance too. There we go. Let's try that again. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There we go. Cool. couple of spots that I can stink in with straight black. So we'll just do that real quick. There we go. Yeah, that's a good, that's the texture effect that I wanted. I might make it a little bit smoother though. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll work on making it a bit smoother. So I just put that on the wrong layer. Hold on. Or did I put that on the wrong layer? Let's turn off tone. Okay, no, I did put it on the right layer. Whew. So if you find yourself going, oh, I want to improve the particular look of these pants, so I need to do the wand tool again, but I don't think the wand tool is going to select what I need. So you just turn the layer off. Wand tool, and you select what you need. Boop, boop, boop. And then you turn the tone layer back on. Boom, there you go. Who's gonna, yeah. There. Go back in on the inks and color in some of these spots. There we go. Yeah. 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 Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. The feathers, though. Let me see if I can find a texture brush that can do feathers okay. Under clothing at the moment. Not seeing anything. Pattern. Not seeing anything there either. Flower? Nope. Vegetation. I do feel like there is a feather brush around here somewhere. Not that one. Natural? There we go. Nope. Ruled line? Nope. Okay, so I guess we're making a feather brush. For that, we're going to make a new canvas. 2000, 1200 resolution. It's a good paper color. There we go. Okay. Okay. There. If you hold the shift button down and you move it around, it just takes it in straight directions, like straight up and down, straight left, right. Makes maneuvering things way easier. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're going to move that over. Add a feather right there. Erase some lines. Yeah. Try that again. Okay. Mhm. Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, sure. At this point, I'm just mimicking Matthew Mercer bats. We're going to save this in brush material. Feather. We're going to name this layer feather, and then we are going to edit register material image. Yeah, feather. Use for brush tip shape. And we're going to save that in color pattern. I really wish there was just a column for nature, but we're just going to put it in other, I guess. No, wait. Clothes. There we go. Okay. Now for the purposes of testing the brush, we'll create a new layer. Anyway. Decorations, which is the name for these particular fancy brushes. I don't know why they're called decorations, but whatever. I want it close to the hatching pattern. So, or wait. Close to the ray pattern. Because I had created a ray pattern. So let's just right click, duplicate subtool. We'll call this one feathers. Natural scene. Need to drag and drop it into natural scene, apparently. There we go. And we're going to hit that wrench so that we can go into brush tip, select it, and delete it. And we are going to upload a new brush tip. Created material. Fastest way to get there. Feather. Boom. Okay. That got me what I wanted. I am going to change the angle a bit though, because this one had a different angle. Stroke. Where was it? Brush tip? Was it in brush tip? Oh yeah, angle 45. Let's change it to 0 and see what that does. Turn that layer off. Okay, that's close to what I want. Stroke. Okay, can't necessarily change the gap, but ribbon? Oh, if I turn ribbon off, I can adjust the gap. So let's do that real quick. Okay, that's close. What about 100 gap? What does that do? Okay. 120? Nope. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay. We'll change the angle again. Brush tip, angle. I had it at 45 last time. Let's see what that does. Oh, hold on. I gotta adjust the stroke and make it ribbon again. Forgot about that. Back to brush tip. Okay, yeah, doing it ribbon actually connects it like this. Okay. What about at 0? What does that do? Okay. Okay. I need to adjust the gap again. So turn ribbon off. Ribbon back on. Okay. I will eventually get this right because I don't want this like weird little gap that's happening. That's close. Wait, what if I change the repeat method? Okay. What about random? Oh, random doesn't really do much because there's not multiple brush tips for this thing. Random is a good repeat method if you have more than one brush tip going on for a particular tool, like the Mr. Dino and Friends brush that I had made. Or if you really wanted to get creative, the skull one had there was a skull decoration brush that I did that did something similar. Okay. This will do for now, I suppose. Wait. If I change it to horizontal direction of applying, what does that do? Ooh. Ooh, that's closer to what I want. Actually, we'll do it that way. Save. And X out of there. Okay. I'm going to save the feathers on a separate layer on this guy, though, just to be on the safe side. Okay. I'm going to turn this layer off so that I can erase things a bit better. Use the wand tool, select a particular part, turn the feather layer back on, and then hit delete, and boom! It makes it easier to do that. Boop. Wand, turn that layer back on, delete. Layer off, wand, turn the layer back on, delete. Deselect. Turn the layer back off, wand, turn the layer back on, delete. Cool. Okay. Layer off, wand, turn the layer back on, delete. Heck yeah, this is making my job so much easier to do. See, this is why I really like doing personal projects, because it forces you to try out some new things. I think I'll erase the feather lines around the eye, though, because ravens don't have feathers around the eyes. Or at least they don't have them right on their eyelids. There we go. I feel like the head could be applied a little differently, but the arms are okay. That said, though, I am going to take these that I've already done, select shift so that I can highlight multiple ones. Here we go. I'm just gonna Control X to cut and then Control V to paste, and that makes them go on a new layer. I'm gonna call that one Feather OG. Yeah. I'm gonna turn that Feather OG layer off and turn the brush feather layer back on. I missed a spot. How did I miss a spot? I'm going to fix that. There we go. Okay. I'm going to redo the head. Boop. Wand. Okay. This? Nope. 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 You know what? Might just change the angle to 0. See what that does. Nope. What about 45? Closer. 90. Aha! There we go. That did it. We'll set that back to 0. And boop. Go back in and erase the lines around the eyelids, because those don't need to be there. Ha ha! Turn the 10 layer back on, and okay. Think he's good. Let's turn that gray layer off and use the wand tool to select the negative space around him and this little nook. And then we are going to invert selected area. Get the paint bucket tool, refer only to editing layer, select white, boom. Nope, I need a new layer. I forgot to do that. White, boop. There we go. That's the effect I wanted. And the reason I do that is because I'm going to save this as a PNG or a ping. Saving it as a ping enables transparent backgrounds, but I really needed this character filled in. Otherwise, whatever paper color this image sits on top of, that's what color it's going to take. Okay. I'm going to select all of these layers and move. And there we go. And there we go. Homeless Raven Man. Just signed up for the Paper Cat Press newsletter. Thanks for the tip. No problem. Glad to help out my fellow artists. Greatly appreciate that you keep your streams up for rewatching, because I can go back and reference it again when I need to. I do my best. That actually reminds me, last week I did a stream about tips and tricks in Clip Studio Paint, and I had announced that I would be posting timestamps so that you can just reference the timestamps for whatever tip or tool that you need to reference. I'll try to do that more often. I still need to do the timestamps for that particular video, but I invite y'all, if you wanted to timestamp anything, put timestamps in the comments. Because these live streams post up live, or they post up as just regular old videos on YouTube, and then you can post the timestamps in the comments. Those would be super helpful. Mind the gap, yes. I'm the exact opposite. Working on other people's projects is what pushes me outside of my comfort zone most of the time. Sometimes that's true for me too. But it's usually personal projects where I really push myself, because if I try something new and I fail, I'm not going to lose money out of it. When it comes to commissioned work, I tend to work with stuff that I know works. I tend to play it safe. It doesn't bug you that the feather texture is going in the wrong direction? I think I fixed it. Yeah. Oh, never mind. You're fixing it. Yeah. I caught that and I was like, oh, I don't like it. So I'm glad that I fixed it. It looks much better. All right. So who should I draw next? We have, let's see. We've been at this for almost an hour and a half. I think I'll stay on for another 30 minutes. If you have somebody that you would like me to draw, actually, Ben had posted a request earlier for a cat calling vampire. Yeah, cat calling vampire. Okay. let's get that sketchbook template back up. Sketchbook page template. Okay. Let's draw this in a reddish pencil. I'm gonna save this in this folder. Here we go. There. Okay. Catcalling vampire. Coming right up. I'm already picturing it in my head. Ooh, design pencil. That's different. That's not the pencil I usually work with, but let's work with it today. Why not? That's my default face shape. Let's try something different. Yeah. I kind of like this pencil effect, honestly. Might do all my pencils looking like this for the future. Got to get a good trapezius going with this guy. I like drawing my beefcakes. I can't help it. I like my cake with a side of beef. We're going to move that figure up a little bit so I got some room to draw the legs. Now I'm thinking that vampire is a construction worker. I mean, I'm not saying that the night crew are a bunch of vampires. Or am I? It's time for some undead pickup lines. Let's hear your worst. Do you consume the flesh of the living? Because you the ghoul of my dreams. I'm so sorry I had to read that out loud to all of you. I do feel like there are a lot of vampire pickup lines, though. Like, that's just a thing that the internet decided was funny at one point. So there's like a bunch of those. There's also a couple of undead, like a couple of like zombie ones. Like, I like a girl with a lot of brains. That one's one of my favorites. Boop. Just going to flip the canvas to make sure that I got the hand right here. I don't know why, but Brain can draw a hand on the hip better when it's at this angle than the opposite. So I'll just take advantage of that tendency. There we go. Look, I know that the general mass media tendency to draw vampires is to make them like androgynous pretty boys, but I'm thinking of Strahd from Curse of Strahd, which is why I'm drawing him like a beefcake like that. I'm catching up on comments, and I'm not even going to read Ben's next one. That's just dirty. Hey, baby, are you O negative? Because you're my type. I dig it. I dig it a lot. Oh, these pickup lines, they mostly bite. I'm not sorry. Yeah. Going back to vampires and stuff and such. Yes, D&D vampires surprisingly beefy. They're also among the most difficult enemy encounters that you can experience in Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. I imagine the other editions are just as difficult because Strahd was in 1st edition, if I remember correctly. He was just recently, within the last couple of years, retrofitted to be playable in 5th edition. I want to adjust the head. Head's at a weird angle. Mm-hmm. There we go. See, this is why I'm really glad for the mirroring tool in the navigator in this program, because I can flip it horizontal, and that helps catch things that I would not catch otherwise. You know what? Regular ass ears. Some people like to give pointy ears to vampires. Not sure I like it. Curve of the foot. Curve of the foot. Especially for them boots. Them boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. One of these days, these boots are going to walk all over this campaign setting. Yeah, that foot's a little smaller than the other one. Hold on. I'm going to zoom out and make sure the proportions are consistent. We strive for consistency in this house. Erase selection, because it caught that part of the other foot, and I don't want to adjust that. There we go. Yeah, that's a bit better. Okay, now that we got the body pencils, how about we do some costume pencils, and we do that in green? Oh wait, I gotta draw the face. Faces are important. Ben, I'm sorry, I'm catching up on comments again. Ben, why do you keep coming up with dirty ones? I just saw your cleric one. I'm just like, why? Are your pants a mirror? Because I can't see myself in them. What are pants? Undead pickup line. Mirroring tool doesn't work on a vampire. Didn't you know? Well, he still has a lot of his fleshy base because I haven't added the vampire details yet. That's how this works. Yep, that's why they can't see themselves in the pants. Baby, you put the romance in necromancer. Seems the fangs are on the other foot. I should probably get that looked at. Oh man, this kind of makes me want to draw my vampire and lich characters. Please do! I would love to see that. I don't know if that cleric pickup line is clean there, Ben. I doubt that. For the record, you must have some cleric levels because you're turning my head. Vampires, the original necromancer. Yes, yes. Good call, Paragon Plays. Very good call. Turning heads like looking. I know, but because my brain is in the gutter, when I heard head, I did not think of the one that sits on your neck. Okay, we're going to zoom in on the face. We're going to add some face details. Yeah, another reason that I do multicolor pencils is to just help some details stand out. I'm going to give him some thicker eyebrows. Heavier brow line to complement these sharper cheekbones and the stronger jawline here. Yeah. And then we're going to give him some strawed hair. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, costume details are going to be in blue. Oh, he's got to look fancy. I want him to look fancy. Okay. I'm just catching up on comments again. Let's see. Y'all want to hear a vampire joke? What do you call a vampire in a jogging outfit? Tracula. I dig it. Can this vampire character be really bad at the whole hypnotic charisma thing and keep relying on bad pickup lines, which don't work at all? We'll put that in his little like character like bio, or at least in like the character highlights. Because with the NPC compendium, every character is going to have like little bullet points for like character highlights, which will highlight like some notable characteristics, like what do they want, what do they fear, little ticks, stuff like that. So we'll make sure. You know what? I'm gonna do a thing. I am going to do a thing. I'm going to make a new layer, and we're going to name it Note and Pen. I'm gonna do the usual pen I work with, which is I think Real G Pen. No, it's not that. Turnip Pen. No, it's not that. No, it's not that. For effect line. No. Mapping Pen. No. G Pen? G Pen. G Pen is the one I usually work with. Because I'm like, I usually have my brush size from my usual pen at 20, and all of the ones I kept highlighting were not at 20. Okay, anyway. He's not good at hypnotic charisma. So he relies on bad pickup lines and catcalling. Oh, that was very sloppy. Hold on. There we go. And then we're going to turn that note layer off, and we're going to go back to pencils. I just wanted to write that down, and I was like, I don't have my notebooks on me. I'll just screw it. I'll make a note layer. There. I do that sometimes. Just out of necessity. Okay. Fancy outfit. I think I'm going to need to pull up some references again. Looking at the jokes again. Why did the vampire get fired from the blood bank? He got caught drinking on the job. Yep, that's a good one. Okay, I'm gonna look at references because I need some costume references for stuff. Wait. Yeah, no, I need costume references. But I saved the ones that I want to reference in a different spot, so I'm going to look in the other spot. This one? No. This one? Yeah, it was this one. Poofy sleeve shirt. That was the shirt that I wanted for reference. Okay. He gonna have his fancy shirt tucked into some fancy pants. And he's gonna have some fancy boots. But I'll look up fancy boots later. I want to draw the shirt first. Okay. Oh, another reason that I drew this guy with the figure that he did was because I was watching a anime abandoned episode about the Fatal Fury Double Impact special. Fatal Fury Double Impact is two not AMVs, two movies essentially in one. And one of the anime movies of Fatal Fury is The New Battle, and the villain for that one is so over the top and campy, He very much like an almost vampire looking dude with like purple hair and an exposed midriff, and he plays the organ, and it's just like, oh my god. The Earl of Strawheim, I believe is his name. He's just absolutely ridiculous, and I love him. So yeah, I based a lot of his figure on the Earl of Strawheim as well from a fighting game. That's why he's beef. I'm not gonna make the sleeves poofy though. I think I'm gonna keep them like collared like this and have buttons. We got about 15 minutes left in this stream. Get all of your undead pickup lines out of the way. The shirt reminds me of stuff Lestat wears. You're not wrong. Counterline, if someone hits you with a sleazy undead pickup line, well, I must be a specter because I'm ghosting you now. I had to look that character up because I mostly know the games. Funny thing, Krauser, the Earl of Strawheim, that's him. He mostly doesn't have a shirt in the game, so I was confused. Yeah. In the movie, The New Battle, he's mostly depicted wearing armor. I'm not sure why that creative decision was there, but yeah, it would not surprise me that in the games he's shirtless. Speedy puffy shirt draw. I drew a lot of them for Neverending, and I got really good at them. As it turns out, whenever you draw something 10,000 times, you get really good at drawing that thing. So I got really good at drawing poofy shirts. Yeah, I think part of this guy's character is that he's new to the whole vampire thing. And that's why he hasn't got a good grip on that hypnosis thing. Zooming out and zooming in to make sure that I got the stuff. There we go. Got what I need to draw. Okay. A button. Who's got the button? There we go. Okay. Now the pants. Before I draw the pants, I gotta draw boots. And I need some fancy boots. Yeah. Poofy is a fun word. It's just an explosion. It's an explosion of vowels. Poof. Vampire stuff. Lestat? You mean the less stuff? Yes, I dig it. I dig it a lot. I do need to pause for a second. Because I got to run. Nature is calling, but I will be back shortly. Okay. Sorry, I try to take care of that stuff before I start streaming. But earlier I had a cat on me, so I was clearly not going anywhere. The host is gone. Everyone riot. I gotta head out. Great stuff as always. Well, thank you for joining us. I know you're not hearing us right now, but you'll catch it on the replay. But thank you for joining us. The inmates now run the asylum. It's basically every other Batman story. You're not wrong. you're not wrong at all. No. I think a few more minutes, and then I'll wrap it up. But yeah, okay. Boots. We were going to draw Boots next. And he needs some fancy boots. He needs some like fancy boots that are like up to here-ish. Because that line's already there. Why reinvent the wheel when the line is just right there? There we go. I'm trying to avoid tangents. Tangents are when like lines intersect and cross each other, even though they really shouldn't. The next time that I see a tangent that I accidentally do, I'll point it out, but I try to catch tangents before they happen. Okay. I think he gonna have some like tighter pants. He does need a butt. There we go. He's got a butt now. I was a bit concerned. I was like, why does his leg look a little weird? Because I forgot to draw a butt. I feel like half of the artist's struggle is just handling the butt. Hold on, I'm gonna do a mirror just to make sure everything's looking hunky dory. Okay, yeah, stuff's looking hunky dory for now, anyway. Yeah, there we go. Nope. Whoop. Curve and a curve. Okay. Okay, now the boots. We need some fancy boots. What do you do when you want to draw something but you have no idea what pose to do? That's a good question. I'm gonna take a second to answer that. So whenever I want to draw something but I have no idea what pose I want to do, I think about the particular character's personality. Which is part of why these two characters that I've been drawing for this live stream were fairly easy for me to pose. But if I ever want to draw a particular person, but I don't know what pose to draw them in, I just think about either their personality or what it is that they are doing in that particular moment. Because there's been times where I want to draw a particular character and I'm like, okay, but what's he doing? And I think about like possibly a hobby that he's enjoying in. Like I have a character, Stone, who I would love to draw again, but for one thing, he's a mute. But one of his hobbies is that he cooks. So the next time that I draw him, I will probably draw him cooking. The other thing that helps with figuring out posing is I do a thing called the silhouette test. The silhouette test is something that animators do a lot, but this is something that can carry over into comics and cartooning. So like with this guy, if you made him into a silhouette, let's just do that real quick. One. Select the negative space, and then we're going to invert and color it with black for the silhouette test. Yeah. And then that gives you a rough silhouette of what he looks like. The silhouette test is a really good way to help figure out not just a particular pose, but how a character carries themselves or portrays themselves. So I went with this particular pose because I was like, this guy is still fairly new at what he's doing, but he does have a particular kind of uprightness to him, and he's still doing the catcalling thing. So let's just have a silhouette that reflects that. So I hope that helps, and I hope that made sense. Tight pants to show off the goods. I mean, I don't like being called out like this on air, but yes. Hunky dory, putting the hunk in that. Yep. One of my most common complaints I hear from my weeb friends is how so many anime style characters have no butts. Yeah, the funny thing is, anime artists love to draw boobs, have no idea how to draw butts. And You have an OC called Stone? I have an OC who used to use that name as an alias. How cool. Well, Stone, yeah, he goes by Stone. This is a character for a retelling of The Little Mermaid that I'm doing called Julia, because Julia is the Little Mermaid in question. The story kind of glosses over how she goes from mermaid to human. Like the story basically opens with her already washed up on the beach, and her first thought is, why can't I move my new legs? The story of Julia is basically Julia becomes a human, but she is wheelchair bound. Just because she wished for legs does not mean that she wished for them to be useful. And the Sea Witch takes advantage of that. It's like, you asked for legs. You didn't ask me to figure out how to use them. So now Julia is mute and bound in a wheelchair. She comes across 3 people, Stone, Fidget, and although thinking about it, I think Fidget is going to get renamed. But Stone, Fidget, and a redheaded character, Rascal. So, spoilers, Rascal is a prince in disguise, because basically the throne has been usurped by somebody else. And the king, who is now sitting on the throne, is seeking some kind of legitimacy. So he wants to marry his son off to he just wants he wants his son to marry the princess. But he has no idea what the princess of this particular kingdom looks like. And it's a bunch of mistaken identity stuff, and Julia's mistaken for the princess, and it's wild. It's buck wild. Timestamp silhouette test. Yeah, we'll figure out a timestamp for that silhouette test. Stone 420, blaze it. I ain't gonna stop you if you want to do that. Okay, let's figure out the boots. Let's figure out the boots, and then we'll wrap up the stream. All right, boots. Fancy boots. Let me see if I have any good references for boots, because I feel like I do. Ooh. Already found a couple. They don't necessarily look fancy, though. They look like adventurers' boots. So let's keep looking. You know what? Let me just go to Google. Not Google. I use DuckDuckGo. So I'm just going to type in nobleman boots and see what pops up. Ooh. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick screen share so that you can see these boots that I found. Share. Let's see. Can I add another one? I'm not sure that I can add that. Okay. Well, StreamYard's being a little weird. Boots and cats, boots and cats, boots and cats, boots and cats, boots and cats. Yeah, if you want to get really good at beatboxing, just like switch up. Boots and cats, boots and cats, boots and cats, boots and cats. Super cool take on the fairy tale. I love it. Well, thank you. I'm still writing out the script. You know what? For folks who know NaNoWriMo or National Novel Writing Month, there's 2 other events that happen in the year called Camp NaNoWriMo. It's basically NaNoWriMo Light. So Camp NaNoWriMo, the next one is actually going to happen in... I'm going to double check and make sure that I get this right. July. So in about a month, in about a month. Oh my God, we're less than a month away from Camp NaNoWriMo. I can see now why Kate Kavanaugh was drinking in her thumbnail. So anyway, Camp NaNoWriMo is NaNoWriMo Light. I think I will take Camp NaNoWriMo in less than a month to just finish out my script for Julia and get that squared away. I already have like 2.5 chapters figured out, so I think that'll be good. Boots and cat calling. Y'all are the best. Okay, Nobleman Boots. So, unfortunately, the StreamYard is being weird, and I can't show you the results that popped up on DuckDuckGo, but I will draw a set of these so that you know how cool they look. Let's go with... Ooh. That one I think looks the best. You know what? Give me a sec. I'm going to save a copy of this thing, and then I can bring it up in Clip Studio, and then you can see how cool it is. Look at it! Behold this boot! I am going to use this as reference. I am going to flip the canvas, though. It's a little easier to work with. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I dig this. I dig this a lot. I'm going to add a claspy part here. Whoop. Whoop. Okay. New layer. Perfect. Let me get the hex color for this thing. Copy and paste. Done. Okay. And okay. Using that trick that I taught you in the last live stream, which you can watch on my YouTube channel, link in the doobly-doo. Okay. And we are going to rasterize this layer and merge it down. And there we go. Okay. And I'm going to make a new layer for the shoelaces, and we're going to do that same effect thing again. Paste. No, I can't do that. Okay. There, that's close enough. Okay. We're not looking for super polish because this is still the pencil-y layer. When we ink this in, it'll look a little bit better. But yes, there we go. And we're going to rasterize and merge it back down and back to what we were doing. Okay. Nah, that line's not necessary, I don't think. This one is, though. There we go. Okay. It's not super polished, but it's the pencil layer. It doesn't have to be. Nah, we're not going to save the changes on that one, but we will save the changes on this piece of art here. I'm going to make a new layer. Put that at 50%. Oops. There we go. Okay. I think there would be a good place to wrap it up for today. This is our basic boot design. What do you more buckles? Oh, okay. How many? All the buckles. Accurate. All the buckles. Yeah, I am aware that it is past 3 p.m. I figured that I would add a little extra because I had to run over for a bathroom break. More buckles. I feel like that's like the art direction for half of Final Fantasy. At least recent Final Fantasies. Some Call Me Johnny on YouTube has been doing what's the word? Retro Let's Plays of, or not Let's Plays. He's been doing reviews of the Final Fantasy series, and he started with Final Fantasy 1, and he's been working with his way up. And I gotta say, love the art direction of the original Final Fantasies. Like, the watercolors are gorgeous. Yeah. Also, some of the Tales games. Oh yeah, more buckles for Tales. I do not doubt that. You know, actually, that reminded me. I was going to talk a little bit more about some of my favorite character designers. I'll go ahead and give some of my favorite ones a shout out now. I mean, Tetsuya Nomura was one of the first character designers who, like, I saw his work and I could associate a name with his work. So, like, he stands out to me for that regard. And there are some character designs that he does that are really cool. He does, I think, better monster designs. I love the way that he does monsters. But some of my other favorite character designers include Akira Toriyama. Let's just say there's a reason a lot of people reach out to him to do character designs and not necessarily writing. Because he's pretty good at character designs. He's legit good at it. But I really like his character design work. Like, a lot of his stuff can pass the silhouette test pretty easily. Until you get into the Super Saiyans. And then it's just like, really, dude, really. But, like, barring that, especially with his early stuff in Dragon Ball, like, a lot of those characters can pass the silhouette test pretty easy. Akira Toriyama is amazing and hilarious. He really is. Like, he really is funny. Once you start approaching Dragon Ball with the angle of it's a comedy, everything makes so much more sense. Which is part of the reason why I'm not a big fan of the Bruce Faulkner soundtrack. I'll just go ahead and throw that out there. A lot of people have their own issues with the Bruce Faulkner soundtrack. A lot of people are big fans of it. I personally take issue with it, if only because it tries to make the series way more serious than it actually is. Like, the Bruce Faulkner score is very dramatic. It is very dramatic, which, on the one hand, it can serve some moments really well. Other moments, no, it's a comedy. It's a comedy, and the music needs to reflect that, which is why I try to listen to the original soundtrack as much as I can. Super Saiyan 3 is the freaking worst. It's not great. It is not great. No. Yeah, I agree with you. Like Super Saiyan 3, not a great character design. I think that was the moment where Akira Toriyama's exhaustion was starting to become obvious because he came up with that character design, and I feel like he came up with it because he was on a deadline to come up with it, and he just went with the first iteration that happened. If you take a look at some of the character design like sketches that he did to figure out how Cell and Majin Buu looked, like you can see the process for those, and it's really freaking cool to see that. 90% of the characters are named after food. Yes, they are. The rest are puns or other things. It is a comedy. Yes, it is. That's part of the reason why I love it. Like the Ginyu Force is named after dairy products because dairy is what you keep in a freezer. Frieza. Not even getting into how the Saiyans are all puns off of vegetables, and their prince is literally Vegeta. Vegeta vegetables. So obvious. And oolong and pu'er are named after types of tea. I feel like Yamcha is a pun off of something, but I'm blanking on what it is right now. But yeah, 90% of the characters are puns off of food or are some kind of joke. Bulma's name literally comes from bloomers or panties. Yeah, which is why her son is named Trunks and why her father is Dr. Briefs. I do recall that he had little to nothing to do with GT, which is why it was awful. Oh, yeah. I can see that. Yeah, Toriyama, he did do some character designs for the movies, which is why the characters for a lot of the movies are actually quite good in appearance. But the writing's not great. The one character design that Toriyama did not do was Janemba, but he really liked how Janemba came out. That stood out to me. I hate that they dubbed Bra's name as Bula. This is something that Kaiser Neko brought up as a good point, which is on the one hand, yeah, when you type in Trunks in a Google search, what usually pops up is like Swim Trunks or Trunks, the character from Dragon Ball Z. If you type in Bra's name just as Bra, guess what pops up? Which was part of the reason why Funimation went with Bula instead of Bra. Because they didn't want kids like Google searching the name and then coming up with particular search results. That is its own topic, and we're not going to get into that. But yeah, I could talk about Akira Toriyama's character designs like all day. Or just Dragon Ball or Akira Toriyama. I could talk about that for hours. Next time on Dragon Ball Kelsey talks about Dragon Ball for 2 hours straight. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I mean, okay, you know what though? I feel like this should be an unlockable goal on coffee. Like if you pledge a certain amount on coffee, then I will talk about Dragon Ball Z for 2 hours. Like, why not? Don't, but please don't. Like, I'm not going to encourage that today. Or am I? No, I'm not going to encourage that today. No. Anyway, character designs for things. But there are other character designs that I really, really dig. Like the names of character designers don't necessarily pop up in my head quite as readily. I do appreciate the character designs for Trigun. Love those. And also like the character designs for the movie Paprika by Satoshi Kon. I appreciate those. You're one of the 2 people on Tumblr that I know is into Dragon Ball like me. Oh my god, I will send you so many links of so many other Dragon Ball Tumblr blogs that I have found recently. I've found some good ones. You should do a stream where you spend the entire time charging up instead of drawing. Would people tune in for like an hour of me screaming though? Like, nah. I love that era of anime. Same, honestly. Like the 90s, early 2000s of anime for like character design stuff, it resonates. It resonates with me so much. Yu Yu Hakusho. Togashi's character designs, love those. Especially since like Yu Yu Hakusho was so 90s. So 90s. I do love his character designs for Hunter x Hunter, though. I love the character design stuff that he does for Hunter x Hunter. Love it. It's great. All of the characters pass the silhouette test in one way or another. It's marvelous. I could probably do an entire stream just on the silhouette test and character designs. Let me know if you'd be into that. I think there's a good place to wrap it up. I'm going to stop sharing the screen. There we go. Okay. Slayers, Sailor Moon, Trigun, Dot Hack, DBZ, Outlaw Star. Yeah. Oh, okay. I feel like I've mentioned this in a previous live stream, but the funny thing about Outlaw Star to me is that Toonami had they had Outlaw Star in 2 different time blocks. One was the afternoon block for like kids who came in after school to watch it. And then they had the midnight run block. And Outlaw Star aired in both places for some reason. There was one time, however, that I don't know what happened. The episodes for the afternoon block and the midnight run, they were the same episode. It's just that one was edited and one wasn't. Somehow they got switched. So the midnight run cut ran in the afternoon one time. And I was like, wait a second, Melfina is naked. Wait a second, everyone is swearing. Wait a second, there's blood. Wait a second, what is going on? It was the weirdest thing. Gone for real later. Thank you for tuning in, my dude. Paragon plays Outlaw Star. I mean, I would not be surprised if there was an Outlaw Star video game. I'd love it. Oh, the live stream about like character designs and the silhouette test. That may be next week. I think since everybody's tuning out, I'm going to wrap it up here. So thank you for joining. If you would like to watch this on the replay or watch any of the other live streams that I have done as replays, you can check out my YouTube channel, link in the description. It's also available on Linktree, which is up on the screen right now. Linktree/KelseyD. You can also find a lot of my social media links on there. I also have my fingers in a lot of projects at any given time, and you can find any of those links also on Linktree. You can also find my posts and etc. at kelseydcrawford.com. That's Kelsey spelled Kelci, and then D as in dog, and then Crawford. It's also available on Linktree, or it's in the description below. The doobly-doo, excuse me. Sorry, I was distracted by the comments for a second. You can also read my webcomic, The Legend of Jamie Roberts. The legend is all about Jamie Roberts, a genderqueer pirate, and their 2 best friends who go treasure hunting in a land full of dragons and magic. And you can find that at thelegendofjamieroberts.com. That's going to be it for me for now. I'll stream again next week at 1 o'clock Eastern dated time. Going to see about doing a live stream about character designs and the silhouette test. So stay tuned for that. That's all for now. Thank you so much for watching. You are awesome.